Hey guys, it is a beautiful sunny summer day here in northwestern Ontario. We have a 1950 Buick two-door special with a inline 248 cubic inch engine. What do you think? Should we see if we can get this thing to fire up and run? Follow along, we'll see what kind of trouble we get into. I've already done a couple of videos on this thing. It is two-door special that I bought out of a junkyard in, I'm going to say probably 2002. It's been sitting here ever since. According to the license plates, the last time it was on the road was 1969, I think. Oh, 1970. So it's been off the road since 1970. It certainly has seen better days. It spent probably 32 years sitting in a junkyard. And then it spent the last 23 sitting here. So that's getting up there. Kids have been in here, at least I assume it's been kids, have been in here and they've smashed all the windows out of it, except for the back. They've tried and failed with the back, I think a couple times. But, you know, it looks like garbage to them, I guess. In a previous video, I was playing around with the engine and it is not seized, which really bodes well for getting this thing fired up and running. But I can almost guarantee we got some stuck valves. Let me put you guys on a stand. I'm going to lift the hood off. This Buick has kind of a unique hood in that it goes either up this way or come back towards us, or it can get lifted off completely without too much trouble. Let me take care of that and we'll kind of go over where we are with the engine. This is not the correct carburetor that's on here. It's just one that I found in the back seat and set it on there to kind of cover the hole. In the last video we did on this, I got a Stromberg carb off of eBay and gave it a quick cleanup. Hopefully that will get us in the right ballpark. I know it's got oil in it. How about coolant? Bone dry, which doesn't surprise me in the least. I would have been surprised if there had been coolant in this. Kind of looks like maybe we got a little bit of corrosion in the bottom corner. That radiator's probably not gonna hold any liquid. That's fine. At this point, we just want to get it running. If it's going to be a viable engine, maybe we'll consider putting another radiator in it or getting this one fixed if necessary. But for now, we'll just take what we can get. The plan for today is I want to get the cover off of the spark plugs here, get the plugs out of it, squirt some lube down in the cylinders. I want to get the valve cover off, and then I want to try and put a wrench on the crankshaft or turn the fan or whatever we're going to do and see if we can get this thing to roll over. Ideally, we want this thing to roll over 2 full revolutions without having any stuck valves. Before we try and put any power to it. Now, I do have a 6-volt battery that I can use if we're going to try and make this thing run, but all I've got for power today is my one of my 12-volt jump packs. So if we do manage to get the engine so that it'll roll over twice, then we might consider taking a crack at rolling over with the starter. One other problem that we've got is we go under the distributor cap and there is no parts. However, I do have a full advance plate that we can put in there. I've also got individual points and condenser that we can install as well. So we'll decide what the easiest path forward there is. This plate here is designed so that the vacuum advance can pull on it, and it's supposed to turn. You can see it moves a little bit. It's kind of stiff. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Oh, pull the dipstick. And as you can see, there is oily looking stuff It's kind of at the add line. I did bring some oil. It's not necessarily the right stuff. It's just spare I had from the oil change on the Chevy. But it is definitely oil we can dump in there and get the thing to have some decent lubrication. Anything's better than water, and it doesn't look like we've got water in there. As you can see, the crankshaft moves. That is a really good sign. Let me get some tools together here and get you guys mounted to a stand, and we'll start trying to strip some of this stuff off and see where we're at. Let's see what we can do about the valve cover nuts. They both seem to be loose. Those will buzz off there with an impact. How about our spark plug? Oh, that's good. That's good too. Well, I'll grab a impact and we'll buzz those off. Oh, look at how clean those threads are. You know, that's impressive. That, like, this thing's just been sitting here since 02. Like, it's not like it has been garage kept or anything. That is amazing. Well, it's not all rusty. A little bit of mice damage. I don't know how the heck they got in there. Unless at some point that oil breather was off. That is not bad. Look back a few videos ago when I was tearing apart that last flathead Ford V8. If you want to see mouse house. With that one, they had to move out because they'd filled the oil pan of that engine completely with fluff. This is not bad. I think what we're going to do now is pull off all those spark plugs. And I do have some tape. We'll label them. I don't have any new spark plug leads for this thing, so we're gonna have to use what we've got. But we'll get those spark plugs reefed out of there, and then we'll try and put some stuff down the cylinders to help lubricate things as we're rolling things over. Kind of wish I'd have brought my borescope with me. I do have a nice one that would have allowed us to look down in there, but oh well, that's one of the problems of working 30 miles away from home. Let me get all those spark plug wires labeled. I'm going to label both ends so that they're easy to tell where they go back onto. And the firing order was stamped on that cover that I just took off. I'll bring you back in a few minutes when we're ready to proceed with the next step. Got the spark plug leads off of there. Let's see if we can get these plugs out. Okay, black, kind of been running rich, but considering we have no idea when this last run. Atlas 463. Never heard of Atlas spark plugs before, but okay. Let me rip the rest of these out. I'll bring you guys back in a minute. We'll squirt some schmoo in there. 8 spark plugs removed. These 4 still, like, they look like almost new plugs. A little bit of rust on the front 4, but look at the electrode caps. Like, oh, they're still a nice brass color. Not too shabby. I put some Marvel Mystery Oil in a squirt bottle. We'll try and give each of those cylinders just a little drink. Oh, we can get it in there or not. Oh yeah. went well. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab, I got a soft blow hammer, and I'm just gonna go and we're gonna give each of those valves a little tap and see what we've got to work with. Maybe I'll bring you guys around to the other side, it'd be easier for you to see. What do you figure? A little shot of Croil in there first. So we've got, that valve is down a bit, that valve is down a little bit. Some of the other ones might be a bit down, but most of them, they look like they're in the up position. That's a good thing. Let's see what happens when we give them a tap. Oh, that one's stuck. That is kind of amazing. 16 valves, and it looks like only one of them is stuck. That looks really well for us being able to get this thing to break free. Unfortunately, that one that is stuck has an exhaust valve. So what do we do next? I think we need to see if we can get a socket on the front of that crankshaft and maybe see about turning this thing over. The bolt is not very far in, so hopefully we can get on it. I managed to find a 1-inch socket in my father's toolbox that seems to fit just about perfect on that crank pulley. Now we'll see what it'll do. Moves, but it's not turning. Wonder if we are stuck in gear. With flat tires, this car is not going to want to move. I would say we were. You know what? I'm going to put a Sharpie mark on that pulley, and that way I'll know when we've gone around all the way. Seem to be making some good progress here though. Let's put a pry bar on that valve. I'm worried that we're going to come up and connect with that valve and do something bad. Somebody left a chunk of 2x4 up here when they were working on a 1953 Ford last summer. Oh! I'm going to switch over to the ratchet instead of the breaker bar because it seems to be going reasonably well here now, and we'll see if we can get it to go over. Our one stuck valve seems to be behaving itself. That's one. There's two. Well, golly, that's impressive. So we've freed up our stuck valves. We've rolled the engine over 2 full rotations. What do you figure, guys? Should we put a little power to the starter? See what happens? Unfortunately, if that thing's going to start rolling over, and I'm over on that side, I'm going to get sprayed. But hey, it makes good TV for you guys. Now the tricky part with this is, this car is 6 volts, and this jump pack is 12, and the car is going to be positive ground. So the red battery cable is going to get connected to the black. And the red is going to get connected to this uninsulated ground lead. Well, that didn't create any lightning. Let me see if I can get down onto the start side of the starter solenoid. I did get a spark out of it. That's got some potential. The vacuum canister on the distributor is just at the wrong spot to get on that starter side of the solenoid. So there, we should the starter spins over nice. That's not going to help us because the Bendix isn't engaging. I don't know if that is going to do anything for us or not because I don't think the ignition is on. Over here on this side is the start wires. Ho ho! Not hearing anything bad. So the wires that I'm touching together over by the intake manifold are the ones that connect up to the starter. And they will get us up and running. This vehicle doesn't use the ignition key to start or a pedal on the floor. What it uses is a switch on the side of the carburetor. I think what we need to do now, get the ignition fixed and get the carburetor mounted. We might be able to make this thing make some noise. We're going to start off with the distributor cap. It is damaged. It's cracked here. I don't know why, but it is. Ooh, and look at the backside. I'll have to clean that up. Anyways, stupid me, didn't expect to get this far today, so I didn't bring any sandpaper. But I do happen to have a scrubby disc for the die grinder, and that'll do just fine. Well, hopefully that is going to be good enough. I'll have to take a screwdriver and get the mud dauber nests out of the top of the cap. Now we need to figure out what we're going to do with Mr. Distributor. Ignition parts, points, condenser, and rotor. Let me bring you guys in and I'll show you what we got to work with here. I've got the bits and pieces kind of laid in here. We've got our condenser approximately where it needs to go, our points sitting approximately where they need to go, and the two wires connect up to the post on the points. Let me make all of that happen. I got to dig up a couple of screws that'll mount everything down to that plate, and then we can see if we can maybe get a little bit of fire out of this thing. We've got the points and condenser installed, but we're not on a cam. And of course the jump pack's dead. So what I'm going to do instead is roll it over with the ratchet again so that we're on one of the points of the cam. There's an 8-pointed cam here and we want the points to be open so then I can kind of set the gap to where I estimate they should be. I would say we are bang on the tip of the lobe, and I would say we are just about right for a gap. I don't know if you can see it or not in the bright light that we have here, but there is a little gap in that in the points there, and that will do the job for us, I think. I'm going to hook the jump pack up to the truck. Hopefully that'll backfeed the battery in this thing a little bit, so we'll be able to turn this over, and while it's doing that, we'll put a carburetor on. Give the carburetor flange a little drink of Croil. What that really needs is some Scotch-Brite, and I didn't bring any. Because I'll be honest guys, we've gone a lot further than I was expecting we were going to get today. Ew, that's not good. there's a whole bunch of grindy stuff in that intake manifold that I really don't want to have go down the track and into the cylinders. I'm gonna run back to my parents' place. My dad's got a nice little cordless vacuum, and I'll bring back and we'll see if we can suck some of that stuff out of there. Hopefully this fits. Oh, just. Plug your ears. Well, certainly feels better. I guess that's the right way around. Now, the rod for it goes from the gas pedal to the carburetor is missing. As is the return spring for said carburetor. But I think that'll work. Those appear to be the carburetor nuts, but they are not looking very good. I do have a selection of nuts, so let me see if I've got something that'll work. Those are fine thread and my nuts are coarse. I don't know how this is going to work. And the nut goes disappearing underneath the car. I think that's going to work. We're just going to put two on for now. Oh, almost started. Come on, start. You guys get the idea. I'm going to get that bolted down with the two nuts, and then we'll see if the jump pack has enough juice to turn things over and see if we got any spark happening. Carburetor's basically bolted down. Kind of caught a sharp edge here. So we got a field dressing. This is the vacuum advance lead. Now it's time to see if we got any spark. There's our distributor cap. I guess we may as well hook up the vacuum advance on this end too. If we hook up power to the coil and turn the engine over, in theory at least, we should see some sparking happening on our points. If we do that, that tells us that that's good and the connection in here is good and basically all the circuitry is good. Let me grab the jump pack. We'll get that hooked back up in here and we'll put a jumper wire negative to the negative side of the coil. Remember, we're dealing with positive ground, so things are a little backwards here. And try turning it over again and see what happens. Connect it up here, let's see what happens. Jumper pack's still dead. With the bright sun that we have, I don't know whether you're going to see anything or not, but I can see some spark and I can hear it. In theory, if we can convince this sucker to turn over again, then we might be able to get this thing to spark off. I'm going to put the battery back on charge again, and we'll see whether that will pick up any more juice, and we'll maybe put some spark plugs back in this thing. Ooh, this is getting interesting. Well guys, I think we've pretty near reached the point we've been aiming for. I've got spark plug leads hooked up according to the firing order on the side of the spark plug cover. It's done right. If I connect my coil lead up to power, or up to the negative power, I get a little spark. And I rolled it over so that number one was on compression, And that's how I lined up the firing order. In theory, we should be just about ready to go. So let me put you guys on a stand, and we'll give this thing a little drink of True Fuel down the throat and see what it's going to do. And you're not the only ones who want to watch. My parents have stopped by to check out if this thing's going to run. Let me get you on a stand and we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to try and put a little bit of fuel. Drink. I'll hook up the power and we'll see what happens. If we're getting any compression there or not. Oh, I heard something go poof. And the jump pack's dead again. Big engine, lots of pistons. I think we're going to have to get a different battery. We're going to try a little bit different approach. I think the battery in that in the jump pack there has just not got the juice to be turning over a big heavy engine like this. So we'll connect everything up. Give it a try. Given that we're sparking back through the carburetor, it tells me we haven't got the firing order right, which means we might just be off one pin on the distributor. I'm going to roll the engine over till we get back to number 1 compression stroke again, and then we'll try and line up the distributor. But I will disconnect the ignition so we're not going to backfire in my face. That should be position number 1. And the way I'm telling that is we've got, you know, the intake moves, the exhaust moves, and then both of them quit, and we've got a little bit of slack in both rockers. That means we should be on the firing stroke on number 1. Yeah, I think we're advanced one too many. Just as a sanity check, let's double check the direction of rotation. I'm assuming that this is like BOP from the 70s, and I'm right. See how the distributor is turning counterclockwise. I'm gonna need both hands to get that on, but let me put you back on the stand and we'll give this thing a try now that we've moved the wires around. We're still firing out the intake here. That could just be the valves aren't seated well. Probably just a bad connection. Or it could be something inside the car too. Or Mr. Starter could be unhappy after being awoken by after 50 years. Over all right, but no spark. Well, let's see what happens now. And of course, I'm out of gas, and the battery's almost dead, but let me put a little more fuel in the squirt bottle here. Okay. Well guys, the battery is dead again, and I am about out of gas myself. So I think what we're going to do is shut her down for today, and we'll come back at this again another day. It's been kind of a hot one out here working in the sun. But a lot of progress has happened here, and I'm hoping we'll be able to get this thing fired up before the end of this video. So let me clean everything up here, get everything buttoned back up, and we'll shut her down for today, but I will be back before we're finished. Hey guys, it's a couple days later. We're back working on the 1950 Buick two-door Special. I brought a couple of additional tools with me this time. Hopefully we can figure out what's going on with these valves or with this engine, and maybe we can get it to run. Maybe we'll get lucky and the magic healing bench has kicked in, and we'll be able to turn this thing over and it'll fire right off. I doubt it. I got a deep cycle battery on the ground over here running through jumper cables, and we need to make sure nothing is shorting out. Now that's one of the problems we're going to have with this car's electrical system, is that there's insulation falling off all sorts of places. Give it a little drink. This is pre-mixed True Fuel. Well, that would appear that the healing bench kicked in. Let me get the power disconnected here, and we're going to see if we can get the float bowl filled up and see if we can get it to run a little bit longer this time. Well, let's try this again. I think I got some fuel in the float bowl. I'm going to hook up a throttle return spring so that we're pulled back hard against idle, so that it doesn't run away on us. Holy crap! It idles. That's impressive. This car has not run since 1970. Well, that's the last time it was on the road, was 1970. I have owned it since 2002. It sat here. I assumed it had a seized engine. Just wild guess. And to see it sitting here idling on its own after that many years, 55 years, and it just sits here and idles. That is spectacular. We are going to take that for the win. There's going to be more coming on this 1950 Buick Special, but I think this is where we're going to end it for today. Lots of content here. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. If you got this far, can you give me one of those thumb up things? Give me a like. If you haven't already done so, consider subscribing to the channel. We got the 1953 Ford, we got the 1950 Buick. That seems to be asking to be a project pretty hard. And a whole bunch of other stuff I got on the go. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next mess.